Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is permitted by the copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Kol halal Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai Bahasham Rekaha Kwadash. Double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. The would-be judges, the 144,000, and the scattered elect that are scattered among the heathen nations that have the appearance of the heathen nations. This is not a black-only thing. And to the few Akwaf that are listening and learning to you, I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone, coming at you another lesson in truth. And this will be part 2 of the imposters exposed. And so I read that because I'm going to use probably about 8 minutes, probably 10 minutes or less of 2 videos from CJ Whirleman's show, which is exposing, the J-ish fraud and how the world is turning on them. And this is prophecy that once again that the imposters would be ousted, exposed, and shamed. And that's exactly what's happening. All right. The world knows that these people are not the people of the Lord collectively. The problem is that they still have so much power in the world and control so much media. People are afraid to speak up and speak the truth out of fear of being canceled. All right. Because to point out a historical fact and then someone turn around and garnish your wages, put sanctions on you, block or control your bank accounts just for speaking the truth. Yeah, that's a lot of power. And scripturally, that's power that the Israelites would not have. The Israelites would be on the bottom with no power whatsoever in every society that they're in. They wouldn't be put in a place where someone could hide behind the anti-Semitic shield and then get their way or be punished for speaking the truth about, fraudulent historical events that elevated people to places that they are. The delusion that they live under, especially their youth, being lied to, being told their entire youthful life, and being told in their entire youth that they're the people of the Lord and that they're chosen, when they're the complete opposite. All right, they are the people most hated by the Lord, and the Bible completely tells you that they would be exposed in these latter days. And this is Habakkuk 2. And 1, and we can't get around prophecy. And it says, and I will stand on my watch and set me upon the tower and will watch to see what he will say unto me and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. The tables are the Bible itself. It's made plain now. And the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it shall surely come. It will not tarry. And the Wadi Hawabashim, we living in the days and the times when the prophecies are walking off the pages and coming to an end, to end this current evil, wicked kingdom that we're oppressed under, and that these oppressors and these fraudulent people, these wicked, fraudulent people, are at each other's throat. They're divided. And let's let CJ Whirleman tell you why the Zion. We won't start with this one. This is Zionist free zones, Asian countries ban Israeli tourists. You know what? We can't start here, and then we'll go back to the other one when they're coming against Trump, because Trump is not ruling in their favor. All right, but here we go.
Hello, I'm CJ Whirleman, and in this episode, we reveal why a growing list of Asian countries are banning Israeli tourists. But first, please remember to like and subscribe to our show. Now let's get into it. Don't let the mainstream media fool you into believing the non-Muslim world supports the State of Israel, as it manufactures phony and fake solidarity for the world's most barbaric regime. The truth is, everyone now hates the Zionist state. I mean, take a look at this stunning new poll.
Pause it. Really take that in. Look at those countries. Look at the unfavorable versus the favorable. And I'm willing to bet you that the favorable are the mostly the J-ish community that's within those countries.
Which shows a whopping 2/3 of Europeans now hold an unfavorable view towards Israel. But these numbers tell only one part of the story. The other being that the entire world not only hates the Israeli government, but also the people of Israel, for the simple reason that everyone now understands that ordinary Israeli citizens are indistinguishable from their demented and deranged leaders.
Exactly.
With a new survey finding that 82% of Israelis support the genocide of Gaza, and that 56% support the ethnic cleansing of Israel's Arab population. These numbers reveal the darkness and evil that lurks within Israel's troubled soul, especially when you contrast this data with the fact that only 30% of Germans lended their ideological support.
Before he goes any further, another fact that people do not like to talk about or bring up, all right, because they love to make Hitler. They need Hitler, all right. They need him because that's the story of hate that they use to victim, to play the victim card to get their way. But here's the fact about Hitler that you can look up for yourself. That is undeniable. Hitler himself is Jewish. So is it his mother and his father were both Jewish. He was not a Christian. All right. Okay. And he wanted to bring certain things, get rid of certain things out of Germany at the time. And he even said that he said, why are you guys involved in this Schwarzer religion? Well, look up what the word Schwarzer means, because he knows that the Judeans, the Israelites, were swarthy. Okay? Fact. All right? That no one wants to talk about and wants to ignore. You can't call it fraudulent information, because all you have to do is to look it up for yourself. All right? His mother was J-ish. His father was famous J-ish.
To the Nazis and the Holocaust. A stark difference to 80% of Israelis supporting the total extermination of every man, woman and child in Gaza, all 2 million of them. They even consider Palestinian babies to be their enemy.
Yep.
יותר מזה, כל ילד, כל תינוק בעזה הוא אויב. האויב הוא לא החמאס, והוא גם לא הזרוע הצבאית של החמאס, כמו שהפצ"רית שלנו מספרת לנו שאסור לנו לפגוע בחמאסניק, אלא אם כן הוא חלק מהזרוע הצבאית. כל ילד בעזה הוא האויב.
Yep. Every child in Gaza is an enemy. We need to conquer Gaza. Well, there you go.
אנחנו צריכים לכבוש את עזה וליישבה, ושלא יישאר שם ילד עזתי אחד. אין ניצחון אחר.
In the words of a former Israeli president, Israel is a truly sick and depraved society in need of urgent treatment. His sentiment shared by a former general who admits his country murdered.
The Lord's going to treat it with fire. Thus says the Holy Bible. Read Isaiah 63rd chapter.
As Palestinian babies for sport.
When there is a war, it doesn't matter who your enemy is. You need to destroy their offspring to prevent them from creating more offspring.
Now, if you said that about them, you would count. They would cancel culture on you, your bank account, your home, your car. You might even have the Gestapo knocking at your door. Real talk.
In Gaza need to die.
Is that seriously what you think?
I am killed 2 people Palestinians. I'm in the army and boom, 2 people.
2 Palestinians?
Yes.
And you're happy about it?
Yes, of course. I would kill more.
Not even the Nazis talked openly about murdering children. But then again, we are talking about Israel, a state built on the same kind of ethno-nationalist racism that inspired Hitler to carry out his final solution. The concentration camp that is Gaza has now seen enough death and destruction.
You see, but even C.J. Werleman will not speak against the narrative of Hitler that was pushed by them. You know, he's not. You know, the narrative of Hitler is a pushed narrative. They're not telling you everything about Hitler and what he did. Real talk. You know, and not that I support the man in any way whatsoever. To hell with F Hitler. But at the flip side of the coin is that the narrative pushed about Hitler is you might want to do your own research, and it's not a difficult thing to do.
To rival Auschwitz, Dachau, and the Warsaw Ghetto. Gaza is where Zionist invaders have murdered nearly 17,000 children during the past 20 months, while leaving another 4,000 children without one or more limbs. But if ordinary Israelis actually believe the world will just simply forgive and forget the genocide they are committing and the genocide they support, then they're about to be hit between the eyes with the rudest of all shocks, as an ever-expanding list of countries moves or threatens to ban Israeli tourists from their respective shores. This trend was set in motion several months ago, when we revealed how a growing number of Western
Just take a moment and read that. All right? Let's just look at that. That's a hell of a screenshot right there.
democracies have proposed or passed laws to ban members of the Israeli armed forces, a move that has since encouraged.
So let's look. Which countries bar entry for Israeli passport holders? Algeria, Libya, Syria, Iraq, Kuwait, Iran, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Brunei, Lebanon, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Oman, Maldives, Malaysia. All right. Okay, so you got North Africa and countries in Asia. Notice he's calling them Asian countries. All right, because the so-called Middle East sits in Asia. All right. That's the whole continent of Asia, even the portion that they call Europe. Okay. It's all that's Asia. That's not 7 continents, it's 6. Europe is not a continent. Europe sits within Asia. All right. And I've already given you the receipts, the evidence of that. Okay. They started calling it Eurasia. Okay. And it tells you right the definition of it. It says, and in reality, it's only one continent. Matter of fact, let me get that receipt now that I said it, because there's always someone new. So when you say something like that, you got to come with the resources. So I'm going to go ahead and show the receipt, because to some people that's a bold statement. And most people are unlearned. I learned that same lie in school myself. All right, so I got to bring out that receipt. All right. And I'm on the hunt for it. I've got the receipt. Here we go. Okay. And here it is. And this is from the Oxford 1850 dictionary. Eurasian. All right. In a sense, a compound, Eurasia, definition 1, of or pertaining to Eurasia, to Europe and Asia, considered as forming in reality one continent. All right. So American Western textbooks, as usual, lie. Okay. So in that map is telling you they named 2 North African countries, the land of Ham, Hamites, all right, and then the rest of those countries there are all in Asia, all right. You heard the term Black Asiatic man. Both the people of Africa and the people of Asia were swarthy, all right. People like C.J. Werleman didn't. They got the dominion in the part of Asia that they call Europe when Alexander of Macedon, when Alexander the Great went in and started, doing his thing, which was biblical prophecy. The Edomites had to get the dominion. because the Edomites are the people that are going to, and they fell when Rome fell, and then they rose again during the Renaissance, all matching up with biblical prophecy. All right. And out of them came Amalek. All right. Refer back to the first video to see the book that we're going to go into. All right. Which will, will follow this video. I'm going to go into those 3 books that's in the first video, further exposing Esau, Edom, and the Amalekites, and the people who are fraudulently calling themselves the people of the Lord today.
Asian countries to deny visas to all Israeli passport holders, who have long been banned from Malaysia, Bangladesh, Pakistan, and Indonesia, with the island archipelago nation the Maldives joining this list last year when it moved to ban all Israeli tourists over the Zionist army's continuing atrocities.
Yes, you read the headline correctly. The Maldives announced today that Israelis are now banned from entering the country because, quote, the continuing atrocities and ongoing acts of genocide committed by Israel against the Palestinian people.
Today,
I see a huge portion of Africa and Asia are Muslim, all right, including very important trade routes and trade partners with the West and the Israelis, okay? And the Israelis are out of control with their arrogancy because they take that delusional superiority complex every place that they go.
A growing number of Asian countries are making moves to follow the example set by the Maldivian government, but not only to punish the state of Israel for committing genocide, but also to punish Israeli tourists who've become a growing menace and threat towards locals and other visitors. So much so that Thailand has launched an AI chatbot to address concerns of Israeli tourist conduct.
Now, let me tell you, someone who's been to Thailand, the Thais, I think the word Thailand means smiles, a land of 1,000 smiles or something like that. The Thais are although the Thailanders are very violent with their martial art, all right? They're a warrior type people. They really are. But they're also among the heathen nation, and heathen just meaning outsiders. They're some of the friendliest and nicest people collectively that you could ever meet, real talk. Because I always tell people, if they go to Asia and you don't go to Thailand, it's almost like you've wasted your trip. Because Thailand is like no other place in all of Asia. All right? It really isn't. Just don't get lost in the sauce. 'Cause there's a lot of idolatry and attractive women and exotic foods and exotic shit that if you don't have a connection to the Lord, you could definitely get lost in. All right? But in real talk, it's unlike any other place in Asia. And they're some of the most friendliest, nicest people. So if you can't get along with Thais, you might want to look at yourself.
With one Thai government spokesperson saying his country is fed up with Israeli troublemakers. Even Israeli newspapers are quoting Thai restaurant owners who claim large groups of Israeli tourists regularly order up table loads of food and booze before skipping out on paying a bill and running away into the night. A regular occurrence that has created a strong anti-Israel backlash among Thai business owners who have started putting up posters around popular tourist towns which either accuse Israelis of taking a break from genocide to party in Thailand or advertise that Israelis are no longer welcome.
And that's the thing. When I was in Thailand, it was kind of weird because all the soldiers from around the world, it's like Thailand is like a neutral ground. Like some shit out of John Wick, like you're in the Continental. Business can't be conducted. So it's like it was the weirdest shit because people we were actually at war and in conflict with, they were there chilling too. It's like, okay, so you had Russian soldiers there, you had the Pakistan, we had different soldiers that that were actually in conflict with America all over the damn place. So it's true that it's like a neutral ground, Like I said, if you ever seen the John Wick series, the whole Continental, when it says no business can be conducted on it was a sanctuary. You can go drink, party, whatever. Okay? And you can, and So you see this genocide party right here on this sign, and they're showing you all this demonic stuff attached to the Jewish people. This is how the tithes are seeing them. This is that shameful spewing upon their glory. Let's read it again. I think I read it in the first lesson, but I'll read it again. Which is Habakkuk 2:16. Thou art filled with shameful glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. And the cup of Yahweh's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing upon thy glory. Man, this is embarrassing and shameful for out of all the citizens of the world, for the tithes to start putting up signs like this about your particular racial group. All these demonic images, you know, and genocide party and devil signs, you know, and with this fake Yiddish form of Assyrian Hebrew that they use. All right, this revised form of Yiddish that they're speaking. It's not even Hebrew. They just use Hebrew characters. It's not even Hebrew. They use Hebrew characters. It's more of a Slavic German mixture with Hebrew. All right, I can show you the receipt on. Matter of fact, I said it. Let me just show it. Because once again, there's always someone new. So I can't be accused of anything anti, you know. That's anti. Shut your ass up. This is fact. I'm gonna prove. I'm showing you the evidence. All right. Here it is. This is from the Winston Simplified Dictionary Encyclopedia, biblical references. All right. It says Yiddish, Jewish, a kind of mixed German and Hebrew language spoken by Jews and written and printed in Hebrew characters. All right. So once again, it's a Yiddish, is also Slavic, German. You can add Slavic in there. Slavic, German, and Hebrew language spoken by Jews and written and printed in Hebrew characters. So it's printed in the Assyrian script, not even the actual or the original Hebrew. It's printed in the Assyrian script of Hebrew, and it's a whole nother language. All right. And they're speaking, using, so they've matched their language up with the Hebrew characters. That's exactly what they did. Frauds.
This anti-Zionist campaign gathered momentum last month when an Israeli tourist insulted Thai locals after refusing to remove her shoes before entering a local restaurant.
Thank you. You are not welcome here.
That's enough.
I'm sorry, but your money, but my money, okay, build your country.
Oh my God, this little proud cigarette smoking funk mouth ashtray breath woman. That was some pride right there. And you talking about ignorance.
You are not welcome here.
That's enough.
I'm sorry, but your money, but my money, okay, build your country.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And the Thai chick spoke pretty good English. Let's hear that again, man.
Shoes before entering a local restaurant.
Thank you. You are not welcome here.
That's enough.
I'm sorry, but your money, but my money, okay, build your country.
Then she winks. And wink and say, aha. Let's get that Obadiah, the pride of thy heart. We'll go to the next video. It's in Obadiah, I believe. The pride of thy heart have deceived thee. Yeah, Obadiah 1:3. The pride of thy heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock. Because see, they're the Edomites. They came from Petra, from Mount Seir. That's their original home. The Caucasus Mountains was their second cave home. All right. Mount Seir was their first cave home. The pride of thy heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, and have said of his heart, who shall bring me down? This pride was like, who shall bring me down? Because my money It built your country. Wow. Arrogant little broad. All right. And so now they got issues with Trump.
Taken together, this equals...
Let's take this back. You can read the title. Why does Israel suddenly want President Trump
Hello,
dead?
I'm CJ Werleman, and in this episode, we reveal how US President Donald Trump is not only killing the Zionist movement, but also the state of Israel itself. But first, please remember to like and subscribe to our show. Now let's get into it. When Henry Kissinger said that in politics, there are no permanent friends nor enemies, only permanent interests, he wasn't speaking about Trump, but he very well could have been. Now that he has turned hard against Israel in recent weeks, culminating with the abrupt firing of pro-Israel officials within his administration on June 2nd. A move that sent Tel Aviv into a state of apoplexy, while at the same time giving Palestinians a rare glimmer of hope. But, because we are talking about Trump, it's important we don't lose sight of the fact that he is indeed a malignant narcissist, who lies about everything, cheats on everyone, and is willing to flip-flop any previously held position on the promise of a bigger, better deal for himself. You see, the thing about Trump is he has only one ideology, himself. He's his own god, his own superhero, and everyone else is here to serve and worship at the altar of Trump, or so he thinks. He sees every relationship as a transaction or opportunity for enriching himself, which makes him uniquely corruptible and vulnerable to political bribes. A reality the Qatari government exploited last month when it handed him a nearly $1 billion flying castle as a personal gift.
So a $1 billion flying castle that will have Air Force One technology in it that he gets to keep even after his presidency. And the Israelis saw this as Donald Trump trading on them for benefits, which he is. Donald Trump cannot be trusted. He's an Edomite. All right. So with that being said, with that creating a friction, this is how you know that these people are not the people of the Lord. Okay. Because it tells you in the Bible, well, this is Deuteronomy 33:29. Happy art thou, Israel, who is like unto thee, O people saved by Yahweh, the shield of thy help, and who is the sword of thy excellency, and thy enemies shall be found liars unto thee, and thou shalt tread upon their high places. All right. And it tells you, you know, that Israel, when they go home, that they would dwell in peace and safety alone. These people are not dwelling in peace nor safety. They're not. Okay? These people are in fear of war and in fear of attack all the time. And on the verge of war. It's once again, Israel, Deuteronomy 33:28. Israel then shall dwell in safety alone, and the fountain of Jacob shall be upon the land of corn and wine, and also the heavens shall drop down dew. Israel, their trade routes and everything is cut off. They're in danger. All right? These aren't the people of the Lord, and they're being found out. This is, we'll close with this one. 2nd Ezra 6:27-28. And it reads, for evil shall be put out, deceit shall be quenched. As for faith, it shall flourish, corruption shall be overcome, and the truth which have been so long without fruit shall be declared. Call halal Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai Bahasham Rakah Kwadash Kwam Yasharala Abad Babal.